We're just gonna do a whole video of pantomime. Just. So, try something a little different. I haven't even figured out what I'm going to call these videos. I thought maybe lit matches. I had no idea there was still so much of an interest in pro wrestling, but the videos I've done on pro wrestling on here have all done fairly decent. Well, I mean, for my standards, they've done fairly decent. So we're going to watch a match and talk about the match. A lot of people do this on YouTube, talk about wrestling pay-per-views. We're going to talk about, on this, it'll be matches that stick out for a reason. Like, it won't just be like some basic, regular old match. Oh, that was a good match, so...
This has to be like a memorable match.
Yeah, even if it's like a terrible match, which I have an idea, I won't say which, but I kind of have an idea for a match I want to do for my first bad match on here.
There's so many.
It's Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 2003. That match is fucking horrible.
What a fucking terrible match.
I don't even remember if it was 2003 or not. Alright.
Sounds horrible.
So, this match we're going to be talking about comes off of the Rob Van Dam One-of-a-Kind DVD. I think this is still available. I think you can still buy this. I bought this when it came out like 12 years ago. Was it 12 years ago? It was more than 12 years ago. It was like 14 years ago.
Awesome.
I'm old. The light shining on my gray on my beard. I just noticed that. The light coming in here. Got to make my beard look even grayer.
Makes it absolute gray.
Back in my day!
Back when we used to watch wrestling. When we was youngins.
Back before the intronets.
Well, the match was what, 1998?
The match that we watched today was Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn from ECW's Living Dangerously pay-per-view, March 21st, 1999. There are people watching this that weren't even born yet.
They weren't even alive yet.
They weren't even born yet. My oldest daughter was only like a year and a half old.
Yeah, that's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, this match not only stands out because the match itself was great, but these guys never had a bad match. Yeah. RVD versus Jerry Lynn, you're guaranteed to have a good time. Those guys
they were some of the best. Absolutely some of the best.
I mean, some of my favorite moments in pro wrestling come from RVD versus Jerry Lynn matches. And in this one, I think this was their first pay-per-view match, because they'd had TV matches up until this point.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking spectacular. One thing, before we talk about the match itself, I want to talk about the production value and why wrestling was so much more fun back then. WWE overdoes it with their cameras. They've got literally 25 different cameras shooting angles. There's 3 cameras in this match. 3. The hard cam and 2 roving cams.
And that feels so much more realistic when you're watching it like that. I don't want the 7,000 angles constantly switching. Yeah,
it's like constant jump cuts. Yeah, I don't like that idea. I want to watch some continuous action.
And that makes it easier for the guys to fuck up when there's that many cameras, because they're not going to stay on a fuck up. If these guys mess up, it's right there. It's on camera. We all saw you fucked up. So it made them better performers.
Well, and now you can see them calling spots in the middle of the matches.
Yeah. You could hear them calling spots in the match.
Yeah, now you can. You hear, hit me.
I don't need that much high definition. I don't want to be the referee in the middle of the match.
No. I want it to still be an event. And how well lit WWE is now. There's so much lighting, and this is ECW. There was it looked like half the lights were out, and they probably were, because it was ECW arena.
Yeah, they probably were.
Well, no, this one was in New Jersey, which had more than half the lights were probably out.
Yeah, probably lucky they had lights at all.
Yeah, half the crowd were Toxic Avengers.
Yeah. Some of these old ECW events, they were just in random schoolhouses and just the dumbest places ever, and you could tell.
When they came here to Cincinnati the first time, they went to Norwood High School.
Yeah, I bet that was a shit show.
I didn't get to go to that one. I had friends that went. Actually, apparently it was pretty awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then there was that show in Dayton where Bubba Ray Dudley was calling that girlfriend a guy, or this guy was yelling at him, so he started calling his girlfriend a whore to his face. And Bubba Ray the guy about jumped over the railing at him.
Yeah.
Almost a riot broke out at the Hara Arena.
That's awesome.
Tore that place down.
I know, that sucks.
That and River.
I've seen the only two good wrestling shows that I ever went and saw was both at Hair Arena.
Well, Cincinnati Gardens was one of my favorites. Matt and I went to see a WWF show there. One of the best cage matches I've ever seen. It was The Rock versus Kane with Big Boss Man as a special guest referee.
Yeah.
They put on a fucking match, and I loved the Gardens, and they tore that place down too.
Yeah, that sucks.
I actually thought about driving down there to watch them tear it, because I saw a lot of shows at Cincinnati Gardens. I loved that place.
Yeah.
It was so dirty and filthy. And, like you grab a railing, you just put your hand on the rail, and there'd just be shit all over your hand, and you have no idea what the hell it was.
You
You're
might
like,
catch something, you go there, it probably was actually shit.
it was diarrhea and vomit mixed
Somebody
together.
barebacked that railing on their way down.
Somebody was like, ate too many of the fucking hot dogs there, and
Yeah.
shit in the whole. Whoosh.
Here's a fun game. Let's shit ourselves and slide down the rail.
Oh my god. It'd be fun to watch. Alright, so this match was just non-stop, beginning to end, action, and it was guys actually really trying to perform. It wasn't two guys, one trying to outdo the other. They were trying to put on a good match.
Yeah, they were there to wrestle each other. Mm-hmm. That all the way. And it was excellent. They put on some great moves on each other. Like that's the best part about watching these two guys is they knew each other. They knew what was coming, and they knew how to counter it.
Yeah.
Some awesome counters on some stuff.
Oh, the best counters ever. I mean, there was a chair there, and they did like 3 counter moves in a row, and it came down with I think it was Jerry Lynn leg dropped RVD onto the chair. And yes, wrestling
when he threw him into that turnbuckle and then ran over there, and he like flipped out of the way, but he jumped up there anyways. That was awesome.
Yeah, and yes, wrestling is scripted. We all know that, but you get hurt, and just there's certain things that you can try to make hurt less, but they're still gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And you take a leg drop onto a fucking steel chair like that, when the guy's coming off the top rope with that much, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna get the shit knocked out of you.
When he fucking put that chair down and laid on it with his whole back on it, and then like put him up over top of
And
him.
the surfboard?
Yeah, that had to hurt. Like he's laying on a chair. The round part of the chair is facing upwards, like digging into his back. You could see him like trying to squirm off of it a little bit because that shit hurt. It's too early for bed.
Yeah, I can't be
It's not
yawning
even
yet.
dark outside.
No, we still have a movie to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome too.
Oh, fuck yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I mean, this is just one of those matches that, I mean, from beginning to end, it's so high paced. I don't think that the current guys could keep up this pace through the whole match. There would be a downtime where, if this match had happened in WWF at the time, because they were still WWF back then, after that spot where he hit him on the chair, there'd have been 3 minutes where they were just both laid out, so they could take a breather. This is a 20-minute match that went Broadway, when it's the whole time limit, then was restarted, and Van Dam ends up winning with the 5-star.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best frog splashes in the business.
Absolutely. He nailed it. 3/4 of the way across the ring. Like, he didn't mess around. The RVD had the fucking hugest legs out of anybody in wrestling, for proportionate to his body. Like, his legs were just ridiculous, but they're this big around.
Well, he held a record for what's called the Van Dam lift, because Jean-Claude Van Damme did it, where he put his legs on 2 chairs and did the splits.
Yeah.
And did the lift. He fucking did a 200-pound dumbbell and did that while he was in the split-legged position on 2 chairs.
Wow.
I don't know if the record's been broken since then, but at the time he did it, he set a record.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But, I mean, we were talking about this during the match. Watching a match like this makes me realize why I've kind of become disinterested in the current wrestling product, because it's like matches can be this good. Wrestling can be this much fun and have an audience that makes it that much more fun.
Yeah.
But
that's one of the best things about ECW. They got the audience involved.
Mm-hmm.
That gets people so hyped up. And if you get the crowd hyped up, that gets the guys hyped up. So they want to try to outdo the last thing they did.
And you could never get away with these matches now because everybody wants to sue everybody now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad back then, but not like it is now.
Like, I want to file a lawsuit against WWE. I had my soda on the ground, and these guys jumped over the rail and spilled it. That soda cost me $8. I want $8 million pain and suffering.
I don't know if you watched Raw back when CM Punk was like doing commentary for a little while. He'd come off an injury. And I forget who it was, spilled his Diet Coke. And he was like, "You spilled my Coke?" And he like threw his headset down and jumps over and like beat the crowd. I think it was Cena. Just beat the living piss out of him because he said, "You spilled my Diet Coke."
That's hilarious.
That is pretty funny. Diet Coke is like crack to a straight edge guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't have enough good workers in wrestling these days to pull off a match like this.
I think there's a couple guys that like could. I think Seth Rollins is one that I think he could do this if they'd let him. Because in Ring of Honor, when he was Tyler Black, he did some fucking shit.
Well, you know, there's a couple guys, I guess. If you got Jericho out there, Jericho could put on an hour-long match right now
with anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one guy you like, it's been around forever.
AJ Styles?
Yeah. He could put on an hour-long match right now, too.
Oh,
so 20 minutes would be easy for those guys.
And I have some old Ring of Honor DVDs with Daniel Bryan, back when he was Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
And which I think that's actually his real name.
Yeah.
And that dude could fucking go like that. And that's in Ring of Honor. That's why they like TNA is nobody cares about Impact Wrestling now. It's Ring of Honor is considered the second tier now.
That's cool because they had a lot of good guys that's moved up from Ring of Honor into WWE here in the past couple of years.
You want to hear some fun stories about that? Go on to Jim Cornette's Talking Sense, his YouTube channel, and he talks about some of the guys he worked with in Ring of Honor, and just listen to the shit he has to say about Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is a piece of shit.
He rags on Kevin Owens so bad.
I hope he watches this video because I'll tell you, you're a fucking piece of shit, Kevin Owens.
I don't think he can sell, but he can't work.
Oh, he's a fucking piece of shit.
I mean,
such a fucking bastard.
He can cut some okay promos. He's good at acting like shaken, scared, like the shit he's doing with Braun Strowman now. It can be funny, but overall, like they push the hell out of him, and then Sami Zayn, a guy who can really fucking work, is like his lackey. But it's like Sami Zayn is 3 times the wrestler that Kevin Owens is.
Kevin Owens probably ended 50 guys' careers before they even got started. Well, by being a fucking douchebag.
Cornette said one of his biggest problems was he was just so fat. Like, yeah, we're fat, but we wouldn't try to be a main event wrestlers.
No.
and he was told to go home and lose weight, and he came back and he'd put on weight.
Some fat guys can be athletic.
Yeah.
But
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, all the way.
Samoa Joe's a bigger dude, but oh my god, he would murder you.
Yeah. Somebody like Rikishi, he would probably he could probably run 10 miles, but he's still a big fat ass.
Yokozuna could move around the ring for a big guy.
Absolutely.
Rodney Anwar.
Not Kevin Owens though.
Not
he's
Kevin
a fucking
Owens.
turd.
He blows up 5 minutes into every match he's fucking in.
Yeah. God, and this is the future. That's why I don't watch it.
Yeah, that's what these videos should be. We talk about a match, but also just talk about wrestling in general.
Yeah,
that's what these videos are going to be. I mean, these are going to be every once in a while. We'll do just talk about pro wrestling in general, but watch a match and discuss that match and use it to compare it to modern wrestling.
Compare to other wrestling, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be a fun thing to do with this instead of just focusing on the match itself. Because I mean, how much can you talk about one wrestling match?
Unless you. Put in clips and did a play-by-play, which I don't think that'd be as interesting. Nah,
well, there's already guys that do that. There's Brian Zane. He does a show called Wrestling with Regret, but he spells regret RWRG. REG. He's that guy does and he's really good at it. So if you want that, absolutely go watch Wrestling with Regret. That guy puts on. He does really good in-depth wrestling analysis videos.
Yeah. No, I think it's better to compare good wrestling to modern-day shit wrestling.
And occasionally, oh God, I can't remember who it was this past Monday on Raw. It was a fucking hell of a match. It was like the
yeah?
opening. I can't remember who it was. I'll have to go back and look. But I was watching like, where'd that come from? That was a good match.
One good thing about the internet is you don't have to watch the 17 hours of Raw to see the good match. You can just go and look on their page the next day and it'll be on there.
And I actually think a guy like Jeff Hardy is actually working better now. He doesn't hit as many high spots and there's not as much of the flippy shit.
Yeah.
But now when he does it means so much more.
Yeah.
Because Jeff Hardy's like, he's like 42, 43 years old. You can't work that kind of...
You cannot high fly when you're 40-something years old.
Not all the time. I mean, he had to slow it. And Matt Hardy is still putting on tremendous... Even that woken Matt Hardy gimmick, I mean, it's fucking stupid, but at least it's something. It's different.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I don't think it's as great as everybody else seems to think it is back when he was broken Matt Hardy before this. But it's interesting, and he puts on good matches. Matt Hardy is a really good wrestler. Very underrated.
Yeah. Both the Hardys are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I miss? Edge.
Scotty Too Hotty.
Oh, yeah.
You know who I miss? Brian Lawler. Oh, too soon.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, I
you know who misses,
that was a bad joke.
Mrs. Brian Lawler too?
Jerry Lawler.
Scotty Too Hotty.
No disrespect. I actually do think Brian Christopher could work. I think the only reason he didn't get the break he deserved was his substance abuse issues.
Yeah.
We say that while we're drinking, but apparently he had some serious...
We like alcohols. It's not an issue. It helps us bring you, the viewer, quality content.
It's in this
drink responsibly.
In this form of media, it's a performance enhancer.
Absolutely.
We should do one of these just baked out of our skulls one day. Just smoke tons of fucking weed and do a review and like just see how bad it turns out.
Oh, it'd probably be the best thing ever.
I don't know that
we wouldn't talk about anything. The video title would be, we'd be like, yeah, we watched this, and that would be the only thing you heard about it. We already do that enough sober.
The video would just be 25 minutes of us waiting for the pizza to get here. You're like,
yeah.
Like, why am I looking at my wrist? I didn't even have a watch, man.
She'd be here any minute. The tracker says it's close.
Hey, Domino's guy! I mean, I put up a video because, you know, as I mentioned on here, I used to work in wrestling, and I'm going to start putting up videos talking about my experience in the business. And I talked about my when I invented the character, the Cocainiac.
Yeah.
There was so much more to the character I didn't really discuss on video because I mean I had so many ideas for that in the boss JL. But yes, I said some kind of negative things about JL Thrush in the last video, but I want it to be known that leading up to that, he was actually really good to me. And JL was a very good friend of mine until he said what he said online, and I actually really loved and respected that guy. So, and I would never have gotten into the business without him. So I don't want to be all negative towards the guy. I actually really appreciate him giving me the break that he did. I mean, it didn't go anywhere, but I mean, it could have. It was my fault that I didn't take it any further. Well, not really my fault. It was my family situation. But my next video was going to be talking about the night we set the ring on fire. And which I won't go into detail now. I'll let people be like, wait, what? Yeah, we set the ring on fire. Only 4 of us knew that we were going to do this. God, he was pissed. JL was so mad at us.
Oh, I bet.
There's a legendary local wrestler named Maniac Mark Mustang. And he actually owned the ring that we used. It was an old NWA ring.
Yeah.
And when we set that ring on fire, he thought Mark was just going to kill us. and afterwards, Mark was like, I'm glad you guys got that fire put out, but that was pretty damn funny. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen that way. And in that match, a guy had like a minor heart attack. So I'll go into that another time too. But the next, my buddy Matt, who used to do commentary with me, brought up we did a charity show in Sydney, Ohio, and it was just a fucking monstrosity. It was just one of those things that just, the matches weren't all bad, just the overall experience. By the end of the night, the pizza delivery guy was doing commentary with us. I'm not kidding. The guy from Papa John's was actually sitting there with us, and we were doing commentary. None of the footage ever aired anywhere. And so the running joke has always been that it got lost in a fire. But if you watch our wrestling shows back then, the situation where it got lost in the fire got worse every time we talked about it. Like eventually it was to the point where 700 people were killed in a fire and the footage was lost. But we're gonna me and Matt will discuss in detail the events of the Sydney, Ohio debacle. And it was for one of our referees. His kid had special needs and was disabled and passed away, and it was a benefit show.
That's cool.
Yeah, and a lot of negative things came out of that, and it really negatively affected the company overall, I think. But it's not like I regret doing it because it's going to be a fun story to tell when we tell it. All right, we're going to go watch a movie now. I think we're going to watch Jurassic Games. So if you only watch the wrestling videos, that's fine, but we're going to watch the Asylum's knockoff of Jurassic World. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
So I guess the next time we do one of these videos, we'll just pick another match that stood out. We'll talk a little bit about it, and then just ramble on like a bunch of drunk fat assholes.
Yeah, we'll say the same stuff 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times in every video.
I would do a spin-a-rooney, but I would fucking break my neck.
No, you'll knock my windows out.
Even if I was still back in, like when I was in the shape I was in last year, in this, I would still break something in here. Most likely my neck or break your TV.
Oh, don't do that. We need that to watch terrible movies.
That's true. All right, well that's it. I'll be back another. I don't know how often I'll put these wrestling videos up, but there you go. Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn, always a good time. ECW, almost always a good time. There was a couple of shitty matches in ECW. They don't deserve as much credit as they get for all being great matches, but a lot of good stuff. So we'll be back and much more intoxicated in like 2 hours.
Fuck yeah!